Hello my good students, welcome back to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the Imperial Japanese Navy with the Tokyo Express mod installed. We are going very well in our campaign. We're quite late into it, approaching day 70 I believe, and we are very close to achieving our victory goal, that being to capture pretty much all of the island bases outside of the Australian ones and New Hebrides itself. We have taken Rennell Island completely. We are invading Milne Bay, which is going well underway in our favour, and we have sunk many ships. The goal for today is going to try and spot the Bogue invading task force that we had spotted outside Guadalcanal very recently in the previous video, and try and sink a few ships from there, try and deter them from actually landing any troops. But it does come down again to good scouting and having our ships in place to defend that. So let's go to the strategic map and see what we can do about that. Alrighty then, so as you can see we do have quite a lot of scouts in the area. It was last seen about here-ish, between this pinpoint and down here. So we are going to start looking there for the carrier. We do have the Musashi Task Force rearmed and such, so we are looking around there. We're going to just patrol, move around a little, try and go in a sort of circle around here. To start with, we do have some subs in the area. We are going to move those about. We're going to move this one northwards just to see if it dares to go up here to begin with, and it can circle back around once again. We are going to put these two very close to the mouth, the gateway of Guadalcanal over here, just to keep those close, and we are going to guard the north here with these two submarines as well, because the plan is of course to hit the Bogue and perhaps the New Mexico that's with it with the subs, and then move in for an airstrike perhaps, or a surface engagement, depending on which one we feel is easiest and best. We do of course have both of our surface groups very close as well. Do not want anyone launching any invasions on Guadalcanal or indeed the surrounding islands as well, because we did take a bombardment recently. So and we do have of course launched some troops over to Milne Bay, which is going fairly well, which will tick over in our favour very soon. So we are a little low on the troops there to sustain any invasions there. We will be getting resupplied tomorrow though, which is absolutely brilliant stuff, because we do need the troops and supplies. Running very low on supplies since we did use those, put a load of those into Milne Bay recently, put some into Guadalcanal as well. So we can dip into that if we need some, but once we get resupplied we'll be able to put Guadalcanal back to a level 4 airfield where we were before we got bombarded. So we do still have quite a way to go before we do win this campaign. Because we are going to need a lot of troops as suppliers to Port Moresby, because they do have a level 4 port and 3 airfield, and those are additive bonuses to their defensive power. I believe 20% per level of port and airfield, so that's a lot of bonus there to their defensive power there. So we're going to need a shitload of troops. So let's just keep going though, really. Not a lot to say. We do have a spotted submarine here. Not a lot we can do about that at the moment though, which is unfortunate. So we're just going to have to leave it there for now, I think, and just carry on scouting. So let's go. Alrighty then, so the time has come for things to refresh and tick over. So two things have just happened. First, we've been resupplied, absolutely on schedule there, but we have also taken Milne Bay firmly under our control as well now. Do still have some defending troops to deal with, that's absolutely fine, but we do have control of the airfield as well. And I did not know that this provided Emily's. And with a level 2 airfield there, that is absolutely brilliant. Won't be a lot of Emily's, won't be a lot of planes here at all. If we had these supplies and such to play around with, I'd be very happy to actually upgrade that. But we do want to put those all into Guadalcanal, because that is of course a priority. That is a main campaign objective. So unfortunately I don't think we're going to be seeing an upgrade on this anytime soon, if at all, unfortunately. But there's some more planes for us to play around with in this area, as well as the Taiyo support as well, which is absolutely brilliant. So what do we have over here we can do with these ships? We do of course have some engineering and fuel, but that's going to have to wait, I think, for this group to come back up so it can merge with the Oilers over here to do that. So we're going to merge these two groups to begin with though, and that will do. Do we want to buy anything with our current points though? That is the question. We did send back a destroyer from the Musashi task force. We might want to just replace a few of our damaged ships here, a few of the damaged destroyers at least, just so they perform better when we do get into a surface engagement. Do you want to do anything with this particular group? Might want to bring it up to 10 ships. It's a good question though, that's a very good question. Do we want to do anything with this? Might want to rearm it for depth charges, but we do have quite a few available. So it's not a pressing issue just yet. I certainly have enough submarines as well. It's just a shame to not use our command points there. Might want to bring this task force up to actually be able to stand against a surface engagement. So that might be a good idea. Putting perhaps another heavy cruiser in there, I think at least. Maybe one more destroyer. So I think that's what we're going to do. Let's go for New Sea. And what do we fancy for heavy cruisers? Is there anything we've not particularly used? Could go for an Alba. We haven't used that just yet, but let's just go to CA to make this a bit easier. Do quite like Mogamies. Have we got only the Kumano available? Could go for another Takao. Do have the Maya and the Cholkai there. And I think a Takao would be very nice actually. I'm not too sure we have a lot of air radar in that particular group. So let's go for that. And we're going to go for a destroyer at least, weren't we? Should we go for something a little different? I think we'll go for a good old classic and go for a Fubuki there, because you just can't go wrong with Fubuki, to be honest. It's a very reliable destroyer there. We're going to go for an Asashio to help out our Yamato task force as well. If we go for, where are we? Asashio. There we go. We've got so many available there. And I think we're going to go for an Akizuki to replace one of the ones that is damaged. We're going to go for, which one do we want? Should we go for Fuyutsuki? Fuyutsuki there. Should be lovely stuff. Let's go for that. And that's actually a surprising amount of command points already spent on that. So that's absolutely fine. They can go down and source out to this group. You know what? Actually, we don't have a designated anti-submarine group, do we? That would really help with any open water based submarines. So let's bloody do that. Actually, Akizukis would be best for that, but we don't really need to put loads of points into that. So we're going to go for some of the cheaper ships here, either the Hatsuharu or the need to press thing. You see, either the Hatsuharus or the Shiratsus. Might do a mix of both. Just get 2 of each there. And that'll be absolutely fine. Column Scout, what does that look like? That's absolutely fine. That's pretty much how I want them. Let's do that then. And they can just come round and scout the open water, really. We'll give them further orders once they get there. Some early warning for that would be brilliant stuff. And that's a little bit more scouting in the open water as well. If they do come across any patrols, they will have to disappear. They are purely for ASW purposes. So, an update, we have sent a JCAS in this direction because we did see some sort of scouting, air scouting in this direction. They didn't push up to our bases, but we need to have a look out there. We are pressing with our submarine as well, but they could be anywhere by now. So we're just going to carry on and I will update you as we need to in the future. Okay, so it appears we may have spotted that aircraft carrier group, and that is still fairly close to Guadalcanal. Should we go in and see exactly what that is? Because it's at least marked as a battleship. I'm not too sure, to be honest. We have seen some sort of fighters going around, so that does suggest there is a carrier about, and yeah, that does appear. Actually, that appears to be slightly different to what we have previously spotted, according to the battleship. Yeah, that is slightly different. Okay, interesting. So we have, is this the Tennessee, I believe? Let's have a look, shall we? That's on DDs. Where is Special BBs? Yeah, that's the Tennessee. Interesting. That is rather a threat there, actually. Big old guns and a big beefy battleship for us to deal with once again. We've got a New Orleans as well and a Northampton again. So very similar composition. But of course there are a lot of supplies here for them to drop off, so that is something to absolutely look at as well. They've done us a favour of bringing the the bogues towards us, the last set of those in the series. I think there's only 5 left, so there is still a number to deal with. We did send this I9 out this way over the course of the night, just because I had the feeling they might be going over here towards the Shortland Islands overnight, so I wanted to double check that. So that's absolutely fine. So now that we know that's there, we're going to try and keep contact with it. We're going to launch some more Torus, I think, out over there. We could go for a Donru nail strike once again, but I think I want to torpedo the bogue first. That's fine, yeah. So that's where the aircraft are originating from. That is brilliant stuff. Okay, so we're going to keep contact with that, I think, see where it goes. It is going south at the moment, and we're going to skip over this, and I'll see you in a second. Okay then, my good students, it does appear we have made contact with that surface group. We are just going to dive down a little bit, bring our scope down to 20 meters, and we're going to break off over here just to turn around and get into position without being spotted by any possible planes they have in the skies. We are in a very nice position otherwise to attack them. They are heading towards us. The sea state is 6. Which is absolutely brilliant because it does cover us on the surface a little bit, and it does mean that floods may well develop. So we just need to get in a little closer. We're going to stop turning with this submarine. We're going to turn in a little bit with this one, and I think that will about do. So we're just going to increase the speed there, get closer, and spot the battleship and the bogue. Yeah, there we go. We do have some planes in the sky there, so we shouldn't be spotted on the surface there because of the rough sea state, and we are below periscope depth there. It should be fairly difficult for them to spot us. I think I am going to risk going down to 30 meters though, just to make sure that is fine. Go to 30, thank you. At 8 knots, that is brilliant, and then we're going to move up once again to periscope depth once we get closer, get our scopes out and identify them properly. What have we spotted there? That is the battleship and a cargo ship, not a problem there. That's other things popping up, not quite getting the bogue. Bogue is the first priority, then the battleship, and then like I said, we can move in for a surface engagement if needed. It's going to turn around a little bit more there so that we can intercept them a bit better, like so. There we go, easy stuff, brilliant. And let's go to periscope depth now, I think. We don't need to turn around so much with either of them. Do need to face them directly for that contact though, but we'll put our scopes up, put both of them up just to help. And hopefully if we get visual contact there, that will spot it. So what are we going to target first? Let's get number 2. Let's see, we need to get that on visually properly. Wait for that to catch up. Might need to turn around actually. There we go. Alright, let's do that. So the number 3 is the battleship, number 8 is a escorting destroyer. Okay, no worries there. What sort of range are we from them actually? 7 kilometers. Great stuff. Okay, let's turn in a little bit with this. Might still want to get a little closer. I'm wondering what's hindering our sight there. Might just be the sea state and general visibility. Okay, what is the number 9? That is the carrier. Excellent stuff. So let's take the directors off of there and start looking through our binoculars once again. It's a little bit fiddly, this, isn't it? A little bit fiddly. Wait for that to catch up again. There we go. Okay, let's pause this time. Number 9 was this one. Excellent stuff. So we'll identify that as a bogue. There we go. The number 1 can go for the Tennessee there, which will be brilliant stuff. Let's do that. Okay. Now, the thing here is, of course, getting close and making sure we weave our torpedoes between the escorting ships so we don't actually hurt those instead of our real targets. We do need to keep a constant contact on, don't we? Must be the sea state. What's the visibility? It is 54%, so that will be something to do with it. Do still have aircraft in the skies there, so do need to be careful with our scopes. But we need those out, of course, for the solutions if they're going to work. Just going to make this turn back round because we've forgotten about that, and it is getting a little too far. Getting a little bit ahead of itself there. Just wait for that solution to climb up. Okay, so I think the solutions there are pretty much the best we're going to get. If we double check, yeah, 67 on the Tennessee and roughly 60 on the Bogue. I don't want to waste around too much longer because they will pass over us eventually. We don't have the speed to keep up with them, unfortunately. So we are going to go for that, and we are going to launch as many torpedoes as possible. We don't want to miss. Going to go for a 2-degree spread. We're going to fire off first on the Bogue there. Great stuff. And we're going to, of course, fire on the Tennessee with as many torpedoes as possible. Again, a 2-degree spread, a 67% solution there. Brilliant. We're just going to fire off, make sure all of those go out, and then we're going to dive down, take our scopes down and such, and try and be safe there. So let's take our scope down here. We have fired off all our torpedoes, go to 30 meters below, and turn around and slow down, I think. Let's bring a solution over here. This is done as well. And yeah, that would be great. Go to 50, I think, there, and actually stop so we can keep contact there. Go to silent, and this one can go silent as well. We'll just reduce our speed a little bit there, reduce the cavitation. We are getting a little bit closer to the destroyers, but I think we'll be fine. So it's just watching how they go now in between, how the torpedoes go in between the enemy ships. Hopefully they hit the intended targets, but you never know. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Well, unfortunately we did hit the supply ship, which has alerted everyone to our torpedoes, and it doesn't look like any are going to hit our intended targets there. The ones for the Tennessee just passed behind it, but too far ahead of the Bogue to think about hitting that. Seeing if we might catch one on the back of this ship, but it is too far away. There they are. This is just a little too behind. I believe that's a Crater class convoy ship there. Might just hit the Northampton, might do, but I doubt it there. The spread's probably not going to reach it. Don't think so. It's going to scissor in between there, which is really unfortunate. It might overturn actually if we're lucky into this torpedo. Might do. No, it's straightening out, isn't it? Not quite enough there. That is unfortunate. Yeah, look at that. Just by a hair there, it's going to miss. Or is it? Is it? Oh. Oh, that was lucky. One torpedo. And that looks like it's done a fair amount of damage. Look at the fires on that. That's not on the nose either. Just behind there, where there's less torpedo protection as well. That's pretty decent. So that's a little bit of damage. We did, of course, sink that supply ship because it got hit by so many torpedoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 torpedoes, as well as a magazine explosion. That's just a shame that it's covering the Bogue there, because it's nice that they've got less supplies to hit any of our bases, but that's not entirely what I was worried about there. We can certainly try and re-engage this in the future. We do still have torpedoes left with these ships. How many do we have left actually? Where are we? We have 12 torpedoes in the I-16, and we have 7 in this one, in the I-15. So that's not bad at all. Which was the Northampton that got hit over here? Let's take a damage report, because it's on moderate to heavy flooding. So we could wait for that to go around and see how they recover from that. It's probably not going to sink them. 2 torpedoes probably would have done, but we're going to wait around and see what happens with that because the fires are roaring over there. Hopefully they develop because the wind speed is fairly fast actually. We shall just have to keep our fingers crossed and find out. Okay, so as expected, the Northampton did recover from that. It is on moderate permanent flooding though, so we're just going to move down a little bit, down to the south with this group. We were planted right on top of that group. We could try and go straight back into that, but I think we're going to move a little bit. We're right on top of them, they were moving southwards, so let's just move a little bit. Not going to instantly re-engage them, but we'll move a tad and try again with tactical. And we are starting on the surface, so that suggests that we're not actually in range of anything there. That's one way you can tell if you don't know. A little tip: if you're hunting something with submarines and you think you're right on top of something, go into tactical view, and if you start on the surface of the water like that, you're not in range of anything at all. Not in the whole tactical view there is there anything to engage. So, having said that, that suggests we might have either overshot them or someone's overtaken us. We do have some zeros here to look out for them, but we do have that grace period where they won't be spotted by anything just yet. It looks like we've made a bit of progress here. We are under the surface. We can see them in the back there. That's a bearing of, okay, if we take our rangefinder here, that is just behind us. Looks like it's quite the distance away as well. So let's just bring a scope up and see if we can see exactly what direction they're moving in. I think we've been blessed and it's behind, they're moving towards us. So we are going to have to bring our scope down and go to below periscope depth though, because they do have a fighter in the sky to spot us. But I'll get back to you in a minute once we have tried getting a bit closer and see if we can hit this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually come much closer to the enemy group now. That, let me tell you, that took much longer than it needed to. We had a zero in the area which we needed to get out before some wildcats shot it down. Which it did do, just meant so we couldn't compress time that much. But we have been blessed. The enemy fleet is moving in our direction. We have completely stopped with our submarines now just to try and get into the perfect position to hit this bogue. I am going to tell both of our submarines to try and hit the bogue itself so that we can go in for perhaps an airstrike on all the other ships. Because we haven't done one of those for quite a while, I feel. Not a successful one at all. So we're going to do that. So we're going to put our scope up on the rearmost sub to help us out. We do have a 60% solution. We're going to fire 3 torpedoes off of the I-16 here, which does have the better solution. Oh, which one is it? The I-15 rather, I'm afraid. Hang on a minute. Why? I want to fire, it's because they share solutions. That is why I'm getting confused. So it wants to fire 3 off of the I-15 to save some torpedoes, and we're going to fire 5 off of the I-16. That is the plan. We're going to increase the spread of the I-16 so that perhaps we get some sort of collateral on the Tennessee there. So that's the plan. I think we're going to fire off now with the I-15 there. So let's do that, because that is the rearmost submarine there. So we're going to wait for those torpedoes to get some distance and then fire off with our I-16 there. We are going to stay where we are. We're not going to dive because we are... What's the distance to that destroyer? Yeah, 2.6 kilometers ish. So let's make sure that doesn't hit our own sub actually. Very scared now. I'm very, very scared about that. Let's just pull down a bit. Pull down just a little bit there. That might hit our own submarine there. That was close. That was close. Oh dear, so that might have just screwed us over a little bit. Let's fire off as quickly as possible with that. Damn, can you imagine if we hit our own submarine there? Can you imagine? Oh, the state of that. So that would have been a massive mistake. So let's actually pull down to 40 meters with both ships. and go on silent there. They might have detected our torpedoes. Doesn't appear so just yet. They will need to have active sonar on, and we couldn't hear any pings about. So they didn't know to activate it, which is good. So let's see how these do. We might be hitting this ship, actually. Might just hit this ship with our torpedoes there. Probably not. Where are they? Can we see them? Just over here. Just past it there. Look at that. Right on the nose. Is our second stream going to hit that at all, though? Looks like. Yeah, that's one. Okay, interesting. But that's a little too late for the Bogue to manoeuvre, I think. The benefits of having two submarines, I tell you. Oh, that's not looking too bad, actually. Might have wanted to tighten the spread there. I think I've got to do that. This is a mistake. A magazine explosion, though, was that? Or was that just a big old hit? I think that was just a big old hit. It's not saying magazine explosion, but that's 2 hits on the Bogue there, which is excellent stuff. It looks like we're going to get some more as well. Let's take away the UI, like that. Can we see them? There we go. There's one more on the flank there. We're not going to hit the Tennessee, though, which is unfortunate. Would have liked to get some damage on there. That will be the target of future strikes, I think. We might try and finish off the Northampton as well. How's that crater doing, though? Because the one torpedo might not be enough to sink that. It will hurt the supplies on it, though, for sure. And that Bogue looks like it might be going down. Shall we take a report? I think we should, yeah. Critical, critical. Absolutely brilliant there. Only moderate on the crater there, which is not a problem. Do believe that's a crater. Anyway, I think that's... where are we? MS. Yeah, it's a crater. Great stuff. I believe that's more supply heavy rather than troops. Off the top, excuse me, off the top of my head. Where's this one going? Is he looking for a little love tap on the Bogue? Maybe to get it, just give it a little push out of there. Oh, if that Bogue goes down, I'll be very, very happy. That means we can certainly go in for an airstrike. We can finally put our carriers to better use, because they've been sat idle for quite some time now, just using their zeros to scout. But so I think we'll wait around here a little bit longer and wait for that to develop. Okay, so it took a while, but the Bogue finally burnt down. I did actually send out one extra cheeky torpedo to try and hit that to make sure, because it's taking so long. But just as I fired the torpedo, of course, we got the horn of victory there. So we are going to keep pursuing that group with the subs. Going to bring in our Zero as well to try and have a look at that. With the limited fuel that it does have. What is the range to that? That is about, let's say, 370. That's just in range of Kates and dive bombers. Dive bombers, yeah, 478 and 488. I think we're going to go... Should we go for dive bombers first? Yeah, let's go for dive bombers first with both carriers, I think. Let's see. Junio can go with that as well. Actually, no, we're gonna launch dive bombs from the Hio and torpedoes from the Junio. I think that would give them something to think about. And once again, we're going to try and launch some Torus to try just to keep some contact with that, because Zero is losing fuel. So let's go for that and see if we can keep contact with that. I shall see you in a second with another update. Okay, so it does appear we've come into contact with them. We didn't actually spot them on the strategic map. We did just guess with our tactical map insertion there, which is a very nice guess indeed, because we have, like I say, come into contact with them. Going to focus on the battleship for sure, I think. We do have a lot of planes in here as well. I think we have 24 strike planes there, which is excellent stuff. So, How are we going to do this? I think torpedo bombers onto the battleship would be a good shout. It is on the rear and side of their formation, so let's tell them to go in. They can go in at 40 meters, best speed, and turn around like that from a good distance, like so. Tell all of them to do that. Like that. Let's make sure they're targeting it, just so we don't have to worry about that later. That would do. Go down once again. Please let me know if you don't mind watching me issue all of these orders. Sometimes I feel it can be some slow watching, but if you don't mind, I will certainly keep on doing it. Might just be a bit too lazy, I find, to go straight over to the action. It's just a bit too rushed, and that's not what this game is about. We're going to send dive bombers to try and finish off the Northampton, I think. So that's why I'm sending them over here, and hopefully we get some sort of collateral with the torpedoes later on if we do miss with the dive bombs. I am hoping that there aren't any remnant wildcats about, so we do have to bring in our fighters if possible. I think we've got a couple in the area. We've got some Torios in the area, which is not a problem. So we're going to bring them in full speed as soon as we can. If they do have fighters about, we are rather screwed. We are going to be very, very screwed indeed if they do have fighters about. No such sign just yet. I thought that was going to be them then. When I heard the notification. Visibility is 42%, so we're going to be helped there against their AA. Toru is keeping air contact with the ships, of course. So, how are we looking over here? Still got quite some distance to make. That's absolutely fine. Of course, we can change our course as we move in. Targeting the number 1, that is the Northampton. That is fine. Absolutely fine there. I'm just going to make sure that our Vals are all grouped together. I didn't change any of their speeds. That's fine. Just going to bring them round to the front there, I think. Like that. These can increase their speed a little bit just so they can catch up. Like that. And that'll be fine there. Going to bring the Kates forward a bit, I think. Like so. Let's do it over here actually, so that we do actually have a bit more control over what we're doing. And that should be okay actually. Should be okay. Do want to come from a very specific angle. At least as much broadside as we can. But no fighters here. This is why we get rid of course, the carrier first. It goes without saying, I know, but it's just so much easier when there's no carrier about, isn't it? So much easier. But their AA will not be anything to scoff at once again. And I think we can start moving in on that Tennessee actually. Yeah, let's get them in straight away. That's fat fingering again to the binoculars. I do apologise. Do have some very fat fingers. Like sausages they are. Don't know if they taste like sausages. I've never really tried. I'm sure a few of you would like to know. Gonna tell our Vals just to go straight in and attack that ship. These can increase their speed, so they can go in together with the other groups and they can attack from there. Going to, of course, have to reduce the speed of our Kates actually. Like so, just below 160. I think 160 is just too fast to attack there. So we go for 158 or as close to that as possible just to be safe. Let's go through all of our Kates to make sure we're doing that. Brilliant stuff. These can attack from here then. These will get them in closer before we tell them to attack. These can attack from here. And so can these actually. Great stuff. Excellent plan. Ideal. Exactly how we like it. And because we are attacking with our Vals from the other side, this is a very nice hammer and anvil tactic of sorts. We have of course lost a Kate. Losses are certainly inevitable. Let's bring these Kates into attack now that they're a bit closer. Got some decent pattern there. Losing Kates left, right and centre. This one's having a bit of a wobble. Don't think he managed to drop there. Don't think he managed to drop. We're getting all of the other ones off. Our dive bombers are coming in as well. That's a lot of hits. That is a lot of hits there. Very, very nice indeed. Let's take this away. Getting a few hits. Very, very nice on the Tennessee. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Let's go back over to the Northampton to see, because we do have 2 more groups coming in over here. And a few hits there, a few hits midships, probably not enough to sink it. Getting a few more torpedoes onto the Tennessee. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Textbook attack there, textbook attack. We've only lost 1, 2, 3, 4 planes so far. There's still the chance to lose a few more on the way out, so there you go. Extra 3 there. I think it was 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just a 2 there, just reading the lists too much. That's not a problem though. How many torpedoes did that get hit by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, enough. Enough. That's the answer there. What about the Northampton? How's that looking? Probably won't sink that. Let's take a report. No, alright, just as we do that. Excellent stuff. Very, very nice attack there. Very, very nice indeed. I think that's excellent, actually. That really is excellent. That is the best airstrike we've done for ages, I think. Probably the best in this series. Very minimal losses there, and that is because we brought so many planes for them to think about. We did come from 2 angles there. So, excellent stuff. That is how you do it. So what do they have left? They have the New Orleans, a few destroyers, and of course a few cargo ships. And the cargo ships are what's next on the agenda, because they could still sneak up at night. We're not going to be able to get another air engagement in today, because we are very close to disengagement time, night time. So let's go to the strategic map. There's no point in wasting around there. That's a brilliant 5 command points for us. Really, really good there. Very, very happy with that attack. Let's tell these planes to go back home, shall we? And we can try and intercept their retreat with the Musashi Task Force there. If not, we do have Task Force 37 here to intercept if they do come in for a strike there. So let's bring them actually over here in case our Musashi group does miss them. I'll give that a few more hours, otherwise that may be the end of the video there. We'll see what we get. Okay, so we didn't manage to get any contact with that group again. Does look like they've retreated. We can see their scouts coming in from the distance, too far to catch up with our Musashi group, unfortunately. But our ASW fleet has come into contact, of course, with a submarine here. Can see they've already fired off some torpedoes for us. It does look like they're going for the Sugar Day here. So that is going to have to absolutely go as fast as possible. And do we want to turn in or out those torpedoes? It's probably best to turn out. Let's see what we can do here. Actually, might just try and remember that we have the Wakaba over here as well. Let's break with that, because the torpedoes might well go and try and strike that. We're actually going to turn to port over here. The Hatsuharu and Murasame over here can go to, let's see, let's keep going at a slowish speed so we can get a contact on that. Turn in a little bit there we go. Now where are the torpedoes going exactly? Can we see? Looks like they're going for the Wakaba actually. That's gonna have to turn in, I think, so let's try and do that quickly. I don't mind taking torpedo hits here so much because it is only on destroyers, and of course destroyers that we're not going to use too much. Looks like the torpedoes are actually going over here, so we're going to keep turning to port here. That's absolutely fine. We're going to get the Hatsuharu then with some depth charges ready. How many do we have? 36. Not a problem there at all. I will take that. Might want to turn in a little bit more actually with this. They don't look too bad actually. I think they've missed, so we're going to slow down again, and that can actually turn around to engage. Shigure can turn to port and slow down as well, so we can keep a solid contact with that. And Murasame over here can turn in as well. I think we'll be just fine there. Very nice little dodge. What sort of submarine have we got then? It is either a Naval or a Geisho. That's absolutely fine. Let's Not an S-class, because those are particularly stealthy. No sign of a second submarine either. It's very brave of it to try and attack a group of destroyers there. It's probably the worst thing it could have done. Actually, probably the worst thing completely it could have done. Let's turn off the auto evade here so we don't get any unwanted orders. And let's just stop with this particular ship. This one can turn in a little bit more, I think. How close are we? Can't actually see it just yet. We might want to turn around a little bit more. I think we can just about see it there, so let's stop turning so much. Turn in a little bit actually, and increase our speed a tad. Shigure can stop as well because I think Hatsuharu over here is doing okay. Yeah, that will do. That will do just fine. Just need to be careful with our turn because like I say, always want to get your stern over them as much as possible, because that is of course where the depth charges are dropped. And once again, please do let me know if you don't mind me going through the whole process of hunting these subs. Would you prefer me to just cut directly or as close to the action as possible, or do you want to see the whole hunt when we get to this? Because like I say, it can be some slow viewing, but we can certainly help ourselves out a bit here. Okay, I think that's fine. If we turn much more, we're going to overturn. Got a very nice solution on there, but we are going to leave this to a manual attack. And I think we're going... It is still moving, so we're going to give it a little bit of lead. We're not moving much quicker than it though. We're just going to make sure the Murasame is stopping because we're going to get a collision otherwise. Like that. Excellent stuff. And I think that will about do. Let's get some depth charges off. And we're going to slow down a little bit so we don't overshoot, because once we start hitting it might decide to stop. Have seen that quite a lot in the past. Might not have given quite enough lead there. Well, we are getting some hits. You can see the saturation starting to happen on the nose there. Once again, armour piercing depth charges going straight through. Not arming the fuse at all, but heavy enough to go straight through the armour, of course. And it has stopped, so we're going to slow right down, and that has sunk. Some very nice hits on there. Excellent stuff, that much safer. And hopefully that is one we spotted right at the start of the episode, actually. Just going to posthumously identify that once again. What have we got? That was a Geisho. Excellent. That's another one on the board there for us. And that is a very nice amount of ships sunk today. Harris, Bogue, Tennessee, Northampton and Geisho. That will do. That will very much do indeed. Look at all of the enemy losses though. Does it not make you feel just great when you see that? We had to work for a lot of these very, very hard. But the early losses, of course, down to our submarines. If that's the power of subs, you know, imagine what we did with some DOMs. And we have lost only a few destroyers. So that's absolutely acceptable there. Very, very acceptable. But I think, unfortunately, that is going to be it once again, everyone. I'm just seeing that we are in position to resupply Guadalcanal. So we'll end on a high once again, like that. And I think that is enough to upgrade the airfield. Excellent stuff. So it's level 4 once again, with a very nice amount of planes and some good radar as well. But that does mean we're a little low on supplies, and we're going to need a massive amount of engineering and fuel now. That's going to take 3 or 4 in-game weeks to tick over once again. But that's absolutely fine. We certainly have time on our side. We're not pressed for anything at the moment. Milne Bay, once again, like I say, in our control there. So I think we're doing good. I think we're doing good. That is really going to be the end of the episode today, though, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. Very much enjoyed presenting for you today. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I'd like to hear your comments in the section as ever below. So see you in the future. I've been the Edified Gamer, and I hope your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.